Hey everybody, we have a pretty good crowd, so I guess we'll just get started. Today is June 5th, over halfway through the year now, so exciting times. Let's get started with some stats. The AUM is at 324.8 million. The elephant MCAP is at 158.3 million. The treasury is at 26 million, and our trunk supply is at 121.7 million. Ed, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, Josie. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty well.
Awesome. I wish I had some more stats for you guys, but sometimes I'm at my day job and things get a little busy, so I haven't been able to do much this morning. I didn't even think I was going to get on the spaces today because I was like, I'm rushing and actually doing some at the same time. So I was able to do this, and I may have to step out for a minute and hope somebody else will jump in here and talk for a minute or two. But what's up, everybody? Welcome to your spaces for June 5th, 2024. As always, it'll be recorded, and not sure on BT. I did ask him if he was coming in. I didn't get a response, but I don't know if you guys happened to come on last night. He did. I saw only about like 70, 80 people might have been in, but he jumped on randomly and did a voice chat for probably like an hour, and it was pretty good. It was right around the time that B&B was just, went over 700. I was like, oh my goodness, we were having a crazy night here with everything going on, not just, with trunk and all that kind of stuff, because we saw that go up, but that wasn't because of the B&B. That's because all the money we injected in there. That was pretty good. We're still at 701 on B&B, but for the most part, man, after last night's conversation, it was, if you weren't there, I don't think you recorded it. So he doesn't record all those all the time, but it was mainly about, listen, just being smart with your money and telling you guys, look what's in front of you. Look what you have here in front of you. You guys got to understand it. He's almost trying to just like mold it into your brain what this ecosystem is doing for crypto. And he was just trying to let you guys know, listen, stop making bad moves with your money. Stop thinking you can beat the market and you can do things better than anybody else. And he's just trying to get you to focus and get as many people in the trunk. I know it sounds like we do it every day, and you might hear those same each one teach one things from us, but we really do mean it, because it actually is up to you. And as an owner of this business, which is Elephant Money, I would hope you would want your business to succeed. And I know I mentioned yesterday a couple of things I wanted to chat about, but I'm only going to try to throw one in there and then let somebody else jump in. And if you guys want to speak, feel free to come on in. Josie, if you want to let Shankar in, maybe Nate will jump on too. But, when BT talking about the moves you make in your crypto and some of the choices you make, and, sometimes it's emotions, and that's bad behavior in crypto is what I call it. And it's costing you a lot of money that you could be having by letting your emotions take over, and not just with Elephant, but everything out there in crypto, and plus even your life. So it doesn't matter how good you are at things and what kind of great skill you have, even in crypto, your emotions can cause you to make decisions that you really don't want to do, or they can make, emotions can cause hesitation as well. And when it comes to crypto, emotions are pretty much they're dead weight that you are carrying around when it comes to your money decisions. And your body can only hold so much. You can only, whether it's good or bad emotions, you can only hold so much of it before you just have to let it out. So the faster you learn to drop that dead weight of the emotions, the more room you create for something better for you to learn, or more knowledge, or just better choices. It doesn't have to be about crypto. Maybe you had a fight with your other half, or maybe, somebody cut you off on the way to work today, or maybe you got into some meme coin that was a bad choice, or you found some press pump token that you hope one day, someday, any day, will make some kind of moves, but it hasn't in forever. Those are the things that can just mess your emotions up, and you just don't know what to do. And you're letting your emotions decide what you should do with your money. And of course, you get into those tokens and nothing's going on. Now, you don't want to just dump it, because you thought it was a good move. Heck, I checked things out. You know what? I think it's going to recover. I just got to hold on for a little bit longer. And then you're holding, and then you're holding. And now you're holding with your emotions. Even though every rational thought, every spreadsheet, every calculator is telling you it's already past time to get rid of that token. But you don't, because the choice to sell means admitting you made a mistake and realizing it's a loss. And the pain you get when you lose pretty much usually always outweighs the pleasure you're going to get when you win. So we're always willing to leave a lot of money on the table to avoid the possibility of losing. So, you know, if you're out there and you just have trouble making that decision when to sell, or just you should sell now, just do this little test, okay? And here's how it works. Imagine you have a token in your wallet and it's not doing crap, but you still don't want to sell. And you go to bed at night. Somebody sells that token and replaces it with cash. Now you wake up the next morning and you have a choice. You can go buy that token again for the same price, or you can take that cash and maybe add it to elephant money. What would you do? Look, that test is great because it changes your perspective from realizing a loss to like intelligently investing your cash. It gives you like an emotional distance that was necessary so you can make the right decision. And sometimes that's all it takes. Look at all those tokens in your wallet that most likely won't be moving anytime soon. Those are the ones I just said that you're just waiting for the moon, and you're just like, I'm gonna keep holding. There's gonna be a moon one day. It's gonna be, and just stare at that token. All right. Then I want you to take a deep breath, and you just exhale, and then just sell it, and that's it. Just literally take a deep breath, sell, and boom. When you exhale, hit that sell button. And that weight, that dead weight, will be off for you, especially if you buy some trunk. And that feeling you have, letting go of that, will be worth it. And you know, being an elephant, its future is stronger than the token you just let go. So that's like my small words of wisdom for you to try to be better with your funds. I mean, the feeling you get once it is sold, it literally comes right off your shoulders. Yeah, you might have sold at a loss, but now you actually have cash sitting in there, or BNP, whatever you have in there, if you know what I mean. But you literally have, you're not in that anymore. Now you have whatever fund you need to go buy the next token. But while you held that token, there was a weight on your shoulders because you didn't want to make the move fast enough. You hesitated. But once that weight's off, you'll feel a lot better. And literally, once you buy trunk, it would probably take 2 days before you just almost forgot about that bad move you made, because you're seeing the progress of trunk and the whole ecosystem and how good it's doing. It almost make you forget about that ex-girlfriend kind of thing, if you know what I mean. So that was just one of my bad little words of wisdom for you guys for the day. I always try to get one little topic out there, but that's about it. So I hope you can take those to heart a little bit and maybe use them and do your best to just find that wallet with the stuff in there. And just, you know what? It's time. It is time. And if you've noticed what we've been doing here in our ecosystem over the past couple months, you definitely know it's time to pull that trigger on some of that stuff like that and try to use less emotions when you're making those decisions. Shankar, what's up, man? You want to jump in here and chat a little bit?
Hey, yeah. How are you?
I'm awesome, man.
Awesome.
What you got for us today?
Oh, well, let's see. Well, I think one of my advantages of being here is I'm still relatively new to crypto and DeFi. And I think on top of that, I'm also a business owner, right? And that lets me take a look at elephant money maybe with different eyes. And I think sometimes that's a disadvantage, but sometimes it's also a huge advantage because I focus more on the business aspect. I focus more on trading this system the way it's supposed to. And I'm a little less obsessed with constantly looking under the hood and seeing if I see a flaw and seeing if I see a weakness. And I understand that. I get that we all are worried about those things, and we should be interested in it because that's at the core. DeFi, it's one of its powers. But at the same time, you would probably not go to your local community bank in town and panic if they don't show you their books. You would probably not like spend so much time worrying, or am I going to lose all of my deposits? And yes, I understand there's like FDIC insurance and whatnot, but still. So with that lens, I want to say a few words that maybe will cause some of you to also see a different perspective. And that is, when I talk about a bank that I, out of my own volition, choose to be a bank for me, which is where you store your value, which is where you store your savings, then you have to understand, wow, this is a big life-changing decision. Elephant Money has changed my life forever, ever since I discovered it last October, but I also saw it for what it is, which is a bank. This is serious matter. This is not something to play around with. This is where now you need to align your behavior to the same level as the level of seriousness. Just like you would probably not go to your local community bank or any bank for that matter and say, hey, I'm just feeling a little nervous today, so let me withdraw all of my checking account here from you, and I'll keep it under my mattress for a while, maybe invested in gold a little bit, and then if some things change, if there's different news, I'll come and bring back the money. That would be insane to do, and yet I feel that a lot of us have, maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit, right? But a lot of us do think a little bit like that. But if we do that, then we make it very difficult for us as a community to move forward this amazing project called the Elephant Money Community Bank. And then when I say community, I mean community. I need you all to understand what it means, what a privilege it is to be part owner of this community bank. And when you are a part owner, it comes with responsibilities if you care for your project. And that means you have to act and behave in a way where you put it first. All of your business, if we have business owners here in the room, or even employees who want their companies to flourish, that very often you need to put yourself a little bit, not first, you put your business first. Now, then we need to ask ourselves, well, what does that mean to put our businesses first? Well, luckily, we have a founder who is very knowledgeable, not only in technology, but also in finance. And that, my dear friends, is something that you can't find very often. Well, luckily, we have BT, who gives us indications of what he thinks should be done. And one thing that stands out to me, that stood out to me yesterday, he really put emphasis on that, is when we look at what is the most interesting investment for this bank right now is Trunk. Whether we like it or not, that is what it is. And he said something very important that really stood out to me, and that is the power of DCAing. And I don't want to make the assumption that everybody here knows what it is. It stands for dollar cost averaging. It simply means you take the money that you have available to invest, you split it up into small chunks, and every day you purchase a little bit of Trunk so that it is healthy for you. You don't want to overexpose yourself. And in doing so, you're getting a good average purchase price of Trunk, so that is good for you. But also, and this is where we have to trust BT, who really understands this, you generate a constant buying pressure on Trunk. And he was very clear yesterday that is more important that constant pressure in small chunks that are repetitive over time, that is more important than trying to be a hero and put in a bunch of money at once. So rather than doing that, take your whatever is comfortable for you and make small micro investments over the course of the next weeks and months to create that buying pressure, right? And if you have, and so that's really, that was a huge epiphany for me. It's like, okay, we have to be strong in numbers, and we have to do what he calls, that is our job to move this forward. And then, of course, we add the each one teach one component on top of it. And there's so many ways to do it. One way I do it is on my Instagram. I post almost daily. I post a screenshot of my holdings going up, and it's impressive. And people from all over the world, I'm somewhat of an international individual. I'm originally from Luxembourg, immigrated to the US. So people from all over the world, they're like, what is this thing, Trunk? It's interesting. You seem to, make some money with that. And, instead of telling them, well, go take your $10,000 or euros or whatever, whatever is what people have, instead of telling them, put all of that in that, I say, why don't you look at my video and use the Phantom app and, try it with $20 or 20 euros. And people get super excited about that, and then they do that maybe once a week or whatever is comfortable for them. But more importantly, what we achieve by that is we create buying pressure, but also we bring new people into the ecosystem of crypto, DeFi, and elephant money. And that is a huge one, because what inevitably happens, my dear friends, is that people get curious. They're like, wow, this is exciting. This is fun. I seem to be in the driver's seat of this thing here. I'm doing it safely because I'm not overexposing myself. And I have so many questions. And people start getting curious. They Google, they watch YouTube videos, they join Telegram channels, they join spaces. And by doing that, we have done something very, very powerful, which is we made elephant money, the ecosystem of elephant money, their first safe experience in this exciting new field. And that will leave a very positive taste and connotation for elephant money to that new advocate for DeFi and crypto. So I think that is very, very important. And the other thing that I want to talk about, which was, and Ed, stop me at any point if I take too much time.
Oh, no, keep going, man. These are good stuff that people need to hear, especially that we're recording it and people could play it back and listen to it again and let it sink in. Yeah, please bring it all you want.
All right. So, and I mentioned, I touched on that in some of my videos. When BT and really the community with Savannah House makes those decisions to reallocate funds into whether that is a liquidity increase or an injection into turbines, some people get very nervous about that. And, I've seen verbiage that even on an extreme level says like we're stealing from Bertha. And I need you to all understand that that is not the case. And again, I'm coming from the lens of a business owner. In a business, you have resources. And in a business, you have a budget. And you need to constantly know your budget, be in touch with your bookkeeper every day to ask one very pertinent question. Where do I need to allocate my funds so that I can achieve strategic results? And that is all we are doing. And that is very, very important to understand, is that we are very lucky that we have a vehicle and a framework that can dynamically adjust these resource allocations. I think that is very, very important. what I have noticed that, and this is my final tip here, is that I've noticed that when I approach my business friends, but also I've done something very exciting. I've gone to professional financial advisors because that is a challenge to me. I've gone to professors who study economics, and I say, hey, let me show this to you. Let me see if that makes sense to you. And what is really nice is that very often they immediately get it, because they well, on a first level, they trust me. And they look at what is there. They look at the information and they say, well, that makes sense. And you have two types of people. You have those that say, well, let me try it. Let me dip my toe into this, and then, you know, make my own decisions. And you have the other type of person who says, "Ooh, no, this sounds very dangerous," and this and that. And, you know, I think we are not, nobody, well, I'll speak for myself. I'm not here to convince anyone of doing anything that they don't think is wise doing. That is not the case. But I am here to anyone who finds this interesting and is willing to explore on a level where it's healthy for them. I'm here to provide them with the best possible information and knowledge I can provide to guide and assist them in this journey. And this is very vital for all of us, because it is possible to reach a level of critical mass where we have so many people participate in this system that it is just impossible for it to not have huge success. And I don't know exactly what those numbers are. Maybe BT knows, but I know that right now we just have to have a highest priority of getting to that. And that is true, by the way, that is true for any business. You always need exposure so that your business's value proposition can be enjoyed by as many people as possible. So yeah, those are my thoughts this week, and thank you all for being here. It's a privilege to be part of this amazing community.
And thank you for helping out each week, Shankar, with your knowledge. And if you guys are listening right now, maybe for the first time, Shankar does a lot of help in bringing in new people. He does it in a great way, especially people that have never been in crypto before. And he explains it to them in such an easy way that it makes it a lot smoother for them to onboard, whether it's crypto in general or just into the elephant money. And he's brought a lot of people in. So I thank you for doing that. You know, I know Chris Farrell over in the UK has been doing it too. And we get a lot of people that's their focus all day, pretty much, is helping bring people in. And it's not just about saying, hey, I got this great project. It's about teaching them and showing them the ways to get in and protecting them, making sure they understand that, you know, to keep their funds safe and wallet issues and all that kind of stuff. So they take the extra mile, extra step and help people into crypto. And we really, really appreciate it. And like he said, you know, it is about bringing people in and teaching people everything that we can. And it's not always the easiest thing on the planet, and that is fine. But we do need more exposure, not just from you guys, but that's why we started doing things with Trunk. And BT has mentioned this. We've all mentioned this before. You know, just consider it like it's bringing eyes to the entire ecosystem. When McDonald's has a new toy that's going in the Happy Meal to promote Deadpool and the new movie, guess what? That's what you see on the commercial. But it's bringing people in. And then they're going to eat a hamburger, or maybe they're going to get a Big Mac, even though it's a Happy Meal, and the Big Macs don't come in a Happy Meal. But they're promoting, they're getting the word out, and it brings you into McDonald's for more stuff. So we're bringing people in with the eyes on Trunk for this cycle. Everything goes in cycles. Some come back around again, but we are bringing people in the best way we can. And BT knows exactly what to do each cycle. He's the one with the knowledge of what's going on, not just in crypto, but in finance. And he knows the right moves to make. And I want you guys to follow him. I want you guys to listen to what he says. And if it's ever recorded, I want you to listen to it a couple times. And once it sinks in, it's happened for me when I first started with him. You know, we would do these voice messages and I'm like, I really don't know what he's talking about. And then I start listening, like, wow, okay. And then the moves he makes, we see what happens after that and how it works and how successful his moves are. And we're like, okay, now I see why he did it. And I see what it does for us. And it just takes a little time. If you're new to crypto, I think it's easier to understand what's going on. If you've been in crypto a long time, I think it's harder because you've been listening to everybody else do things their way, projects do whatever they did, and they didn't work. So you've seen it out there a bunch of times not work. And so in your head, you know, you're kind of like second guessing, go, okay, well, I've seen things work for a while before and then they just disappeared. But you're not seeing that with us. And you're not seeing it at all with Elephant Money. And that's because we have BT there in place. Some of our admin, their knowledge in certain areas as well have helped out a lot. When we sit in our admin chat and we talk things out, BT says his spiel, and then we give our 2 cents, and then we go back and forth and we say things, and we're like, okay, this could work, great idea. And then BT makes the final decision to implement it or not implement it. And these kind of things are what have kept us here since, like, you know, you guys know I've mentioned the date. I've been here since March 10th, 2019, hanging out with BT. How many projects do you know are still around since then and are still successful and have as much liquidity in their ecosystem as we do, or hold as much B&B as we do, are pumping like we are, even though it's not every token we have, but it's okay. BT was kind of saying that last night about, you know, let Trunk do his thing. Get your eyes on Trunk, get your money in Trunk, and, you know, it'll come back around to Elephant Money sooner or later. And I'm seeing people buy the Elephant. You already know me. I'm already 85% Trunk, and I'm using 15% to buy Elephant. So down the road, you're going to hear me going, well, I made some good money. And like, that's because I bought right now when it was 15, 16 cents. And people will come in the chat and be like, oh, please don't sell. People will sell. I'm like, listen, we're at what, 76 cents? I'm going to say 75 cents right now. A couple months back, we were at 4 cents. Guess what happened in between all those pennies? A lot of selling happened. People sold at 6 cents, 10 cents, 20 cents, 25. I'm not even going to go all the way up with the numbers, but you know what I mean? People have been selling the whole time, and look what we still are doing. That is the success of the ecosystem. That is the success of the herd doing what they do. Now, when somebody tries to come in around 80 cents, oh, we got up to 80. Oh my God, it dropped all the way down to 75. Well, guess what? Some people got in at 3 and 4 cents. They just 20x'd. They are allowed to have some profit. When the person that is saying, why would some guy dump? Who said he dumped? There's a difference between dumping and selling. And they go, why would somebody dump or why would somebody sell? I mean, well, when that person that just said that, when they have made 100x and they sell, is it okay to call them out and say, why would you sell, dude? Because you made 100x. You're allowed to do that. So that's going to happen all the way up. It's going to happen all the way past $2. People are going to sell when we're at $20. It's going to happen. And you know, a lot of people want that dollar target, but that's okay. Everybody's got that in their mind. I don't. That is too low for me to think. But that's going to happen. But I don't want anybody out there to have any kind of concern. After what Shankar said, after what BT said last night, you know that's just one little mile marker on our path to the future. And $1 should be a very, very low number in your head for Trunk. And the price shouldn't even be at the front. It should be further in the back of your head. To keep accumulating those tokens, like Shankar said, DCA, all the way up. Now, you know, I would like to see the price go slowly up, because, you know, somebody goes, I got $1 million, I'm going to put it in, boom, it's going to pump. And then there's going to be some people that just try to completely sell and bring it back down. So I like to see the slow, gradual rise. This way it creates that pressure, the buy pressure for you guys and for other people out there. And so I would say, you know what, whatever you have out there, you heard me earlier talk about the tokens that are in your wallet. Look through them. I don't care if it's $20 in a token you have, or if you have, say you put $200 in a token and it hasn't moved. Okay, look, fine. You want to keep that in there. You don't want to listen to us. That's okay. But how about just take $20 out of that 200 and put it in the truck? This way you'll feel good, and you will feel good that you put some more money in. Shankar, always, if you ever need some help in crypto, or you're having trouble getting somebody in crypto, contact Shankar. He can help them. That's what he does. He brings people in and he helps them, because I almost need him to help me. And you know, I've been here a long time because I am not the best at trying to explain crypto to people, but he does a way better job than I do. So don't ever be afraid to reach out to the herd to ask for help. That's why we are all here. We're all owners. So remember, if you owned a business with somebody, you wouldn't be afraid to ask your buddy that you're co-owner with for help, or what should you do? You'd be talking right to them. So don't be afraid to ask any of us for anything. Who else was on here today? JC, did you have something to say? Who else is on here?
Yeah, just quickly, if I may.
Yeah.
First of all, Shankar, awesome. I love your energy. Thank you for everything you do for the community. I saw you first on John's Platinum call, and I just love it. So thank you for that. And then this brings me to my second point, really. The executive summary would be that my proposal is to kind of pool resources in terms of manpower to raise awareness about elephant. And the reasoning for me really is that, number one, everyone here in the community should know by now that it's like super important that we find more investors, and that that we help the community grow. But number two, my observation is as well that DeFi and crypto in general is something that's not so accessible for a lot of people. It seems very scary and complex, and there's a lot of scams going on and so on. So in general, it makes it difficult, I think, to explain it to people in a way that they understand. And secondly, what I can see, there's a lot of people here in the community that try their best to increase awareness. But I see a lot, and myself included, see a lot of like Twitter posts here and there that not really get traction. And I feel that maybe there's a lack of knowledge, or maybe a lack of collaboration, which we could easily change by creating some sort of focus group or whatever, where people who are interested in this get together and work together on amazing content, on amazing posts on Twitter, on all those platforms. Maybe in general make crypto, but especially elephant, more accessible. And I'm trying what I can. But for example, I don't have a big background in social media. I'm just starting to learn about this. But I have other strengths. Yeah, I've worked in banking for 17 years. I've been in different leadership positions. I know how to automate a lot of shit. Shankar, you know a lot about social media. There's Chris Farrell, and there may be other people here as well who have their different strengths. And I feel if we find a way to pool this, we might be able to get way more traction than if everyone does their own shit. I'm not sure how to set this up specifically, but there are a lot of smart people here, so I'm sure that we can figure something out, either via the Discord channel, start a subgroup or something like this. There's definitely ways to organize this, and I would be super interested in getting involved in something like that.
I definitely like your idea. I noticed the same thing with Twitter posts. If you look at what's trending on Twitter, it's not trending. It doesn't trend unless you have a specific amount in a certain amount of time. It's like one big bunch, and all of a sudden you can trend. And I noticed we do post a lot, but it's scattered, and we need to make a better effort to do it together around the same time to give us more eyes out there, because I don't think I could look on Twitter right now and something's trending and it probably has like 3,500 posts, and I'm like, well, we could easily do that, but we end up doing it within a 24-hour period and it doesn't get trending. So to put an effort together to make sure we were doing these all together all at once could maybe have us like trending on Twitter or other places out there that have that kind of attention, where once you do things in like bulk like that, it actually helps out. But people that know Twitter more than I do could probably help us. But yeah, I think we could get a little group together to where we start saying, hey, let's start pushing this, and at the same time together as a team, as a community, and we probably get more trending things out there. What do you think, Shankar?
Yeah, the thing is as well, I mean, if someone just starts out on Twitter and they don't have any followers and they just randomly, once in a while, comment on some other people's posts, this doesn't really do much in that sense, because if you want to grow, and if you want to get traction on social media, one of the key things is consistency, which again might be difficult if this is just a hobby for you or you're not experienced in this and so on. And I have a lot of ideas that would just be too much for this call specifically, but there are things like, for example, if there are people, either you as leadership or if there are other people who have bigger accounts, say, hey, every day I post something about elephant at a certain time, then it would make it just easier for people to comment and repost, just as an example. Yeah. But there are other things as well where, just to reiterate, I just think if we pool resources, if we pool knowledge, if we pool manpower, and we coordinate it in a like we start coordinating in the first place, then I think this could like 10x, 100x the effort that we are like putting in and versus the output that we are getting out of it compared to now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in agreement. You're preaching to the choir. I think we have to recognize that everybody is in a different situation. As you pointed out, some of us are professionals and some of us are entrepreneurs that have the freedom, that even have employees that they can pull aside for a side project, which is the case for me. And others, some of us are not, and that's fine. I mean, I also want to recognize the work that is already being done. I mean, we have BT, Ed, and Darcy, and there is a framework there. There's a YouTube channel with all things EVM where he produces constant content there, and BlackBerry with the amazing overview, and all the people I'm forgetting right now. I think one of the challenges is it being a decentralized project. It's not always easy to have centralized coordination, but it is needed. And I think that we will step by step get closer to that for sure. And I welcome your enthusiasm, and will definitely. You're right. This space here, it exceeds this. This conversation would exceed the scope of this of what this space is for. But I'll be in touch so we can see that we also don't reinvent the wheel. I think it's always important to honor and respect the people that have already set a vision in place and then help them move forward with that idea.
I think it's a question of people stepping up, and we can just, if BT or whoever is the host of the Discord channel, if you make some space there, an extra room just dedicated for that, it would be easy for people to find together there, post there, and then coordinate, I don't know, a Zoom call or whatever it takes in order to kick this off. I would definitely be up for it, and I'm happy to help or to coordinate this. I have project management experience and whatnot. So I think there are enough people here with enough knowledge and background and diverse backgrounds and so on to get way more traction. So yeah, if you guys can make space on the Discord channel, that would be awesome, and you will definitely see me there.
Could I jump in here, Ed, a moment?
Yeah, you're on. Go ahead.
Yeah, I appreciate the spirit of JC very much. That enthusiasm is something that kind of waxes and wanes here. I know we've had collaborative efforts. There's been a fellow who's gone by the moniker of Q, and he was super at collaborating a number of Twitter posts, making sure everything got sent out through the Telegram chat. We've had some uh, chat rooms where people have gotten together to try to make things work. One of the things I think that happens is that uh, for whatever reason, for different reasons, that spirit uh, like I say, waxes and wanes. There's times where people are full steam ahead, and then something happens. Like, well, I can take an example. Like when elephant money was going up by leaps and by elephant token, I should say, was going up by leaps and bounds. Then we had tons of guys and gals who were helping out in posting things left and right and charting and all that. And then all of a sudden it started going south, and that had become the focus of our posting. And Elephant Money started to adapt to the situations that are there. And some of that spirit just kind of died on the vine. So it's not like we haven't had it before. It's been out there, but maybe, and I don't know, JC, how long you've been with us, but when you come in and you see what's going on, you say, boy, collaboration would be great. I agree with you. It's like Shankar said, you are preaching to the choir, at least when it comes to me. The main thing is not whether or not it can be done. The main thing is whether or not it will persist, because people get enthusiastic, and will they stay persistent? And that's going to be the proof of the pudding. So, I mean, I would encourage you that way. If you have that spirit and you have that experience, and it sure sounds like you do, that's a great combination. Excitability and expertise. And if you want to run with it, I'm sure a lot of people would be willing to run with you too. The question's going to be, will people stick with it? That's going to be the main matter, because we've had a history of it where it's come and it's gone, and it's come and it's gone. So I wish you all the best with that. And if there's something I can do to be of help to you, I certainly would want to be able to do that as well.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, we have had the ups and downs in that, and that's the new to social media, putting out content type of people. They start a YouTube page, think it's all cool, and they put info out. But I mean, which is great. I mean, we had a great bunch of people, and we thank them for doing that and stuff.
Absolutely.
But it's like they don't exactly know much about the marketing or how to keep things going. If they're only here when we're pumping, that's not the type we need. We're already pumping. We need some attention, but it is so easy to make content when nothing is going on. This is where the people that were here when we were putting a lot of stuff out, you figured they'd be putting stuff out left and right now because it's the easiest to do. But they're not, because they're not experienced in any of that stuff. They just started a page and got some subscribers. But it did help us. But we need some that want to stick with it and, like you said, be persistent about it all the time. And it's not about YouTube all the time, but like you said, with the Twitter or Medium, or there's other places where things, you don't always have to be around to do something. Twitter and Facebook, and even Telegram. You can schedule things for every single day for the rest of the year. That'll happen once a day. So you can all do it in all one day. And then you can walk away if you want for a little bit, and not have to think, I got to put aside more time again today and then again tomorrow. No, you don't always have to do that. It is very easy to put some content out there, even if it's just a post, and it won't take more than 30 minutes to put up at least 2 weeks worth of posts. So there's so many ways that we can work on to be better at by getting together and saying, hey, let's do this, and let's coordinate an effort at it for the marketing of it.
Hey, Ed, this is Monty.
Hey, Monty.
Thanks for inviting me up. I just wanted to say something real quick before I've got to get back to work. But I'm a 15-year-old.
I like your Thor's hammer by there.
Oh, thank you.
I saw that in your photo.
By the way, I enjoyed your picture with Sly.
Thanks.
And Shankar, enjoy your videos as well. But I'm a 15-year-old business owner here in the United States. I've been in elephant before the exploit, have stayed with it the whole time. I completely have bought into the whole community bank, and I participate in all the ecosystems involved. And really, I'm in other degen projects where when I make profit, I bring it back to the elephant ecosystem. And whether it be the elephant token, trunk, or futures. And if I do take a little bit of profit, say like in trunk, I took a little bit, but what did I do with that money? I put it into my futures account. So because I look at elephant token and trunk in the same category as my Bitcoin, which is a store of value, which is to never sell, because in the future we'll be able, as they appreciate, is to borrow against those store of value. And obviously in the United States, as a loan, you don't pay taxes. So that's just a little bit of backstory. But the reason what I want to say is I believe there's an opportunity to strike the iron while it's hot by potentially getting some eyes on the project, because did a segment on how people have overlooked the Binance Smart Chain and BNB, and he did a segment on it. And whether you're a fan of Rand or the crypto banter, that's not what I want to talk about. But what they do also is they break down potential tokens within the ecosystem. And if you don't listen to crypto banter right now, they realize the power of the memes and the meme tokens. My point is they completely glossed over, and elephant money, trunk was not even on their radar. I think there's an opportunity if we hit, as a community, hit that YouTube channel and make in their comments on this video, or hit Rand on his Twitter, saying how they missed or overlooked the trunk token as a powerful meme, or the elephant system. There may be an opportunity, because Crypto Banter, they have 800,000 subscribers on their YouTube channel. They have a huge pull in the crypto world. And you know what? If everyone pounds their social media, it might just force them and their research team to say, what is this elephant money system? What is this trunk? But I think we have to hit while the iron's hot, because they just move from, the next video for tomorrow. So there may be an opportunity there, and that's just what I wanted to share.
Well, thanks for sharing the info. I've been a banter fan for a few years. Actually, it was I think I started watching about 3 years ago. One of our big guys here in Elephant, Money Man, he's the one that got me onto him. I was watching him every day. He's entertainment, and sometimes they have fun. And I remember an episode where they ate something out of a can that was really gross. I can't remember what it was, but it was years ago, and it was hilarious. So it's always about crypto, but he always throws some other stuff in there with his sidekick in there. And BT actually knows him. So I know they have talked before. I don't know what about. I know he mentioned it maybe a month or two ago. He mentioned something about running into him, and I'm not sure what came of that, because I know we know that his show, gets a lot of views, and he's got a lot of subscribers. And I can't remember. I know that he stays away from a lot of stuff on BNB, but he's slowly, you almost can't avoid it when things are pumping. You got to see it. He likes things on ETH. He was always a big fan of Solana years ago too. So maybe that's another thing too. I mean, I know he's a big fan of Solana, or at least he was. So BT, yep, I think is aware of that for sure, because I think they've talked a few times. So I just don't know about any kind of promotion going forward with that. I'll have to ask him next time. What's the chances of doing that, or what's the friendship like with that, or what the partnership like could be? And I wish he was here today to answer that, because I know he did mention his name, and I forgot how long ago it was he ran into him, but I thought he ran into him recent at the last thing he was at.
Sure. And I think, it may not even be a promotion, with Elephant Money System, but if, Rand has a huge research team as well. And all of a sudden, if their Twitter accounts or X accounts are getting hit with, hey, you look at trunk for this, or you did a segment on how so many people have been sleeping on the Binance Smart Chain, and in the background they've been building, and it's one of the first layer ones that are now in price discovery. But if we hit their social media accounts, it may not get traction, but it could get him or his research team's attention by doing a little bit more research on it, and especially recently with Trunk, because they do see the power of the meme coins, and of course they started their own meme coin, which I've gotten a huge airdrop and have sold some and brought it back into the elephant ecosystem. But just a thought, and appreciate your content, and have a great day.
Yeah, you have a great day too, man. Thanks for chiming in. And yeah, I've always been a big fan of him as well for a while, to where I was like, why don't we talk to him? And there is a time where I think we were still trying to get the ecosystem, all its pieces in place. And I think we didn't want to do all that crazy attention quite yet to everything was running on all cylinders. And then it seems like we almost are, where we're all right, just about ready. Okay, now we can start reaching out to the big boys and saying, hey, all our pieces are in place. As you can see, as of recent charts, this thing is moving. This thing is running perfect. Now, would you like to promote it? And hopefully maybe that actually will happen. I mean, you know what? By not going on his social media, we'll never get any traction. So it doesn't hurt to get on there, even just for us. And then if, Rand and BT want to chat on their side. But as far as their research team, it doesn't hurt to let that thing pop in their eye when they log on and see a bunch of posts about Trunk. So it'd be nice to see what kind of traction we can get just by the community doing our thing. And then maybe some other big ones out there. Banter's like the only one I've ever really, really focused on watching. And the couple others I tried, I felt like, they're not that great at what they do. And I feel like they don't exactly know what they're talking about, but at least he does. And so that's what I like about him. And he is all over the place with so many different tokens out there too. But I like the theme of today with everybody saying, listen, we start coordinating things a little better, a little more precise, and let's start focusing on things while things are moving the way they are. Because it is about that time that we need to start, pushing a little bit harder. We need to get the Rugs to Riches people teamed up, and then Chris, and then Shankar, and one big giant, hey, let's get in the room, let's chat, let's focus on some things we can do, and do a hard push. And I'm sure BT has his insight about what he wants out of all that by putting us all together. But you know what I always wished? I always wished that we can get a handful of us together and just travel and just go around. Because I look on my Eventbrite, which I don't know if it's all over the world, but here in the US, it's like an app that just has all these different events that are happening everywhere. Any category, some paid, some free. And I always look, crypto something near me, and I'll see all these things. Oh, this is a meetup. But, there's sometimes where they'll have something where it's like crypto 101, learning crypto, or just little conferences or little meetings. People pay a little fee and they come in, they learn. But I always pictured me and BT and SK and, maybe a few others that were able to do it if they were, and just bounce around a few cities and just talk about crypto, but also elephant money, and just seeing us chat in a room and seeing how many people we can get. I know it sounds silly, but the traveling circus we would be if we started doing it. I just thought that would be a pretty cool idea. I know it's probably not feasible for everybody in their lives for that kind of schedule, but I just thought that would be cool. Oh shoot, I don't even know what time it was, people. Let's see if we can get one more person in here. Boost Fire Cleanse. I don't know if you meant to hit speak, but you're on now if you want to talk. And if not, just unmute yourself.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, great. So just to preface, I'm in my car waiting for my wife, and I have my 8-month-old sitting in the back here taking a nap. So I've been listening, and I just thought I'd call in. So if I have to hang up, that's why. My baby's probably waking up. but I wanted to call in and say I'm very thankful for the project, very thankful for BT calling in. I saw there was a chance to win an NFT. And also, just to give you a little bit of background, I've been following BT's DApp for a long time. I started using Bank Teller on Tron, and his DApps are just amazing. It blows my mind how much freedom it provides. But anyways, just wanted to say thank you for everything. And that's my wife calling, so I gotta drive my car and pick her up. So anyway, sorry I couldn't stay longer. I have a lot more to say, but maybe in the next meeting, I can call back in.
Next Wednesday, man. You've been with us since Bankroll. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
That was awesome. Love to see some OGs that are here with us, still here and still trust the process, trust everything that we are doing out there. And I think